Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title, I'm going to talk today a little bit about adoption. I know that everybody's story is different, where we come from, families, how you're brought up, culture, religion, whatever it may be. It's very different, case by case kind of thing. But I'm just going to talk about kind of like how my story is. Hopefully it might help some people out there who have questions or whatever it may be. I'm gonna try to be as transparent as I can with you guys. So let me just hop right into it real quick. I was adopted at 11 months from China. So I don't really know anything about China. I don't know about my family. I know a little bit about the foster family, a little bit about the orphanage that I was also put in. But besides that, I don't know much. And people always tell me, it's so sad or whatever it may be, but I look at it as a blessing. Because I was born in the outskirts of China in a farmland. I could have had it a lot harder than I did. I grew up here in Oregon in a suburb. Some of you, if you guys are from Oregon, you might know like Oswego and how that might be. I grew up there my whole life, same house, never moved until my parents moved out of state and I decided to stay here, but that's a whole different story. So being adopted, I have two other brothers that are adopted as well, but they were both born here in Oregon. I also have two other siblings that are related to my adopted dad from his previous marriage, so we are a very blended family. And it's great. I love it. My sister is here close by me, and so I get to see her, whenever. My brother's also not too far away. My other siblings are a little bit further, but we're all, on the West Coast. So I totally got off topic. I'm sorry. So being adopted, it was great. I loved it. Like I said, I'm very blessed. I lived a really good life, I feel, when I was younger. I got to experience a lot of things that some people don't. I got to travel a lot with my family, do a lot of cruises, get out of the country. My mom was home all the time. She never had to work. My dad had his own business. Always busting his ass and getting things done, to provide for us. He did a really great job with that. I totally love him for everything that he's given us, especially when I moved out. He definitely helped me a good amount with that. With that being said, that doesn't mean we didn't have our issues. My brothers, both of them, found out they were adopted like way later on when they were in, I think, high school, and they were able to link up with their their birth families, and that was a little hard on me because we have no idea where my birth family is, being said, because I was left outside somewhere just with information, so no one really knows who they were or whatever and how to find them. So at that time that was really hard for me, but I'm kind of glad, I'm always curious as to what they may have looked like in the future, but besides that, I'm glad that I was able to come here to the States and experience a lot of things here. That doesn't mean things were perfect. When I was younger, things are really great. You're very naive. You learn a lot from people and through experiences about certain things. The older I got, I had more questions, and I clashed with my mom a lot just because I understood her more when I was older and who she was as a person. And my mom would always tell me, you can love somebody, but you don't have to like them. And that kind of happened with her. I love my mom. I do. I love her, and I would take care of her if she ever needed me to. But as a person, who she is, who she portrays to be, I do not like. And I was able to understand that more as I got older. Again, who she is as a person. And like I said, everybody's story is different, okay? And your story may be similar to mine, it may not be. No one's perfect, no family's perfect. you know, you could have it worse, you could have it better, but I'm just, again, sharing my story. So when I got into my junior high school kind of days, I got into a group of friends who obviously weren't the best influences, who brought out like the crazy side of me, the fun side, I guess people would say. And with that being said, I also got into some trouble. No drugs, no alcohol kind of trouble, but like sneaking out kind of trouble, lying kind of trouble, because I mean, nobody wants to like yell, you know, be yelled at by their parents when you know you're supposed to be doing something you're not supposed to be doing. And so that was kind of a lot that went down with my family. When I got older, I got into that kind of trouble, which went through junior high school. In high school, I also had something personal that happened in high school, which also created a lot of issues with my family. Stuff that my mom just couldn't get over, which I understand as a mother myself. If I ever caught my daughter doing stuff I did when I was younger, you better believe she'd hear it from me and definitely have some huge consequences. But as that being said, currently to this day, my parents do not talk to me due to some differences. I could probably get into that in another video. It's been 3 years since my parents cut me off, communication wise, and it's hard. It was very hard in the beginning. I was very close to my parents. I love my dad, you know, he was a hard worker, and I definitely looked up to him. He's very, very wise, very, very smart guy. Gave me a lot of, you know, life advice, a lot of financial advice, just, you know, and I love my mom. She was very comforting. She was always there for me. Again, we had our differences. It just happens when you get older. You know, people change and you understand things, and sometimes it just doesn't work out, and that's okay. You know, I hope that they come around someday. You know, but it is what it is. Again, this is my story. It's a little short one. I can always extend on it later, but like I said, I grew up really, really well when I was younger. Things change when you get older. Sometimes you clash too much, and sometimes it doesn't work out. And so, you know, it didn't work out for me at the moment. You know, things might change. It might work out for somebody else. You know, it's crazy. Stuff is crazy. My brother, one of my adopted brothers, left right before he was 18, went back to his birth family. My other adopted brother is still in the family. He's still with our, you know, communication with his birth family and his, you know, our adopted family. So, you know, everyone goes left and right, and it changes. You know, all three were adopted, and we all have a different story. But I hope that it helps somebody out there, whoever is struggling or is curious or whatever. You know, you're not the only one, you know, going through whatever you're going through. It's not perfect. It will get better. It depends how it is. You know, it takes two people to work things out. I've tried to communicate with my parents, try to work things out, especially that I have my daughter and whatever. But they're just, you know, they're in their own situation, and so they're not ready, and that's okay. You know, you can always try. It doesn't always work out, and it can be hard sometimes, but, you know, from that being said, I'm moving forward. It is what it is. There's only so much you can do. But it will be all right. You know, I have my daughter's dad's family that have kind of taken me in and have, you know, helped guiding me through certain life decisions, and they've helped out a lot, and for that I'm very blessed. I wouldn't have met, you know, the people the people I would have met now without, you know, being in certain situations, and for that I'm so grateful, because I don't think I could have done certain things by myself alone. It's really hard, and for people who don't have anybody out there, it's very, very hard. And I totally understand that, because I was alone for a little bit in my lifetime, And, you know, it's a struggle. I went from, you know, living, I guess people would count it as like a privileged life, living where I don't have like financial issues. I always have a roof over my head, food, whatever I needed, because my family provided it when I lived with them. And I went from that to learning what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck, to, you know, learn what it means to like do things as an adult. You know, people don't quite understand that, and I don't think I understood that at the time, what it meant to actually struggle. You know, I know what it means to have like a hard time in your life, but I struggled financially for a while. I struggled emotionally for a while, and then, you know, through all that you learn a lot, and you kind of pick yourself back up, figure it out, you know, find someone to help you guide, you know, to help guide you the right way. And that's what happened with me. I found, you know, my daughter's dad's family helped guided me. I got back on my feet. I got my shit together. And, you know, certain things in life happen. And I think they're meant to teach you certain things. And if you don't learn from it, then, you know, that's your own situation. But thankfully I learned from my mistakes and kind of stuff that I did to help me grow up. And especially as a parent, you know, a young parent, you kind of grow up faster. Well, not everybody, but for me, I kind of grew up faster than, you know, other people, because, you know, you have to take care of your little ones and put them first before you. And, you know, you have to learn what it means to like not be selfish, you know, because it isn't about you anymore, you know, what you want in life, because you're taking care of somebody else who relies on you. And I learned that a lot, and I'm grateful for my family. Like I said, they gave me a lot in life when I was younger and when I grew up as well. And I hope that they come around sometime again. This is my story. You know, things happen, and it's, you know, it's not perfect, and you guys aren't the only one out there that have issues, or if you're adopted and, you know, birth family, adopted family, whatever it may be, you're not the only one. There's a lot of people going through the same thing, and it's hard. And, you know, it will be okay in the end. You just have to sometimes write it out, and sometimes it takes, you know, a while. But like I said, you just gotta write it out and figure it out. And it will only change if you put effort into it. If you don't put effort into it, you can't expect a big change, you know. If you put, you know, a lot of effort into it, or what you feel is a lot of effort into it, and, you know, you should see change. If you don't, sometimes it's just not meant to be, and sometimes you just kind of have to move forward, even though it's hard, and hopefully learn from it and become better. And, you know, you can always circle back around sometimes, depending on the situation, and see if you could do anything different to change it. But sometimes you just can't, and you have to kind of acknowledge that, and don't force something that isn't meant to be and trying to make it, you know, something that's meant to be, because forcing just kind of can turn things into a mess, and that just becomes, you know, who knows. So again, that's my story. I have more to elaborate if you guys are interested, to see if some other people going through stuff that I went through when I was younger, and hopefully I can help some of you guys out there. Thanks for watching.